can't afford the fun pack. What do you think, money grows on trees in this family? Take it back.
Money's paper. It grows on trees. You're buying stuff with trees. Already, I've proven that what you've been taught about money is all wrong. In today's video, I want to dive deeper and talk about how you can change your perception about money and make it work for you. A quick Google search today shows a very telling story on how the world views money. This is what I found. Give me a moment to explain why this is awful money advice. Instead of focusing all the time on defensively saving, much better advice is to spend that time invested into finding more ways to increase your income. Of course, it does make sense to save from time to time, but usually that is going to have a particular goal in mind. Let's say you're saving for a vacation or something like that. But the idea of saving on its own, and that's all you do, it's not a good one. 2 reasons. Number 1, inflation. Number 2, the value of money is dropping all the time. Instead of dealing with the anxiety of, have I overspent on this month's allowance, take that time and invest it into putting your talents to work so that you can make more money. Simple example, let's say you're really good at writing. Go to Upwork, get an account, and go look for some paying gigs. This article called Tackle the Myth of Job Security couldn't have put it any better by saying, job security is indeed a myth. The traditional or linear career path has vanished, and the system as we know it no longer exists. Yesterday's career management rules are obsolete. Nowadays, we are in a very competitive job market. We're a globalized society, so the idea of being in a job forever is dead, and please do not rely on it. So instead of focusing on job security, I suggest you focus on becoming indispensable to the company you're working with. What does that mean? It means you're very difficult to get rid of because you bring so much value to that company that they're going to keep you on, continue to pay you. And the thing that backs all of this up is you focusing on results, because they're the name of the game for you and for your employer as well. I'm not going to say you don't need a place to live. Of course you do. But the idea of struggling in a job that you don't like just to pay for something, just for a place to live, doesn't make sense to me. Instead, increase your income, become indispensable, live somewhere that makes sense for a period of time, and in the future, look to move to the place you really want to be when your career is in the right place. For me personally, I built up my business over the last 10-12 years, and I actually bought my home outright. I don't have a mortgage. See? I follow my own advice. Okay, so this one's kind of tricky because there is some truth to the fact that investing in a retirement fund can make a lot of sense. If you're a business owner, it's a way to get money out of your business tax-free. And if you're working somewhere, look, it's good to have a nest egg for the future. That said, no matter how you're building up your pension fund, the reality is that you are locking up your money until you retire. Now, that money will grow, but you're not going to be able to utilize that in your day-to-day life. Ultimately, this is important, but I just wouldn't get rid of my happiness short-term in order to build a future when I'm older and I need the money. An advisor once said to me, Stephen, what do you want to be? Do you want to be a retired gentleman, or do you want to be an old age pensioner? And that advice hit me hard. I thought long and hard about how do I want to feel when I do retire, and for me, I want to be comfortable, have more than enough money in my life to take care of myself and my family, but at the same time, I'm not going to give up on my happiness short term just so I have money when I'm older. There's a balance, and it's really important that you find that balance as well. Final point, and this is critical, you're going to need some active income to build passive income in the short to medium term, and then you're going to take some of that active income that you're building, you're going to put that away longer term. Just don't sacrifice your life right now. The scary thing is that most people can be wealthy in their lifetime, but they would need 200 years of a lifetime in order to do so because of how they're set up on a day-to-day or month-to-month basis.
90% of the time, I have no idea what the I'm talking about.
We are coming to a very strange part in our human history where cash actually isn't becoming king anymore. What do I mean by that? Well, the reality is that about 7% of the world's money is actually printed. Therefore, most of the money as we know it is just fugazi. If currencies keep being printed at the rate they are, the value will continue to go down over time. So what can we do about it? For me, it's simple. We've got to focus on multiplying the value of the money that we currently have, as well as finding other ways to store value. So how do you multiply your money then? Let me give you some ideas. You could invest in wholesale products and sell them on Amazon. You could build up your own brand of products and again, sell them on Amazon. You can park some of your money in cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, Ethereum, etc. You can start a print-on-demand business and sell all kinds of different products all over the world. Whatever you do, you have to keep up with inflation and the debasement of all of our currencies, and the only way to do that is by going on the offensive rather than sitting around and hoping this just doesn't happen, which it is, it's happening. In other words, you win, you gain while another person loses. A lot of people will talk about the stock market and say the stock market is a zero-sum game, and they then view money as the exact same thing. I look at it completely differently, and I believe that whenever you offer something to another person and that person buys it, there has been an addition created in that person's life and in your life as well. So instead of thinking that money is some weird zero-sum game where you're going to win and other people are going to lose, why not start looking at it as, well, how can we add to each other's lives? And you see, there is a phrase called cash flow, because cash has got to continue to flow. And the way it's going to continue to happen is that we offer different products and services to one another, and we both buy them from one another. Some people call this reciprocal altruism. And in 2008, during the recession, one of the key things that the US government talked about was that people had to get back to buying again. Why? Because the only way for that economy to do better was for people to start buying things, to get the flow of commerce going again and get cash flowing as well. You've got to do the same thing in your own life. The more that you stop the money flow, the more that you see money as a zero-sum game, the more you're actually stopping the economy from thriving and your personal economy from thriving as well. So it's not I win and others lose, it's we win together. It's my belief that the cost of something is not all that important. What's a lot more important is the gain, the return. Now, I know a lot of people in life, and myself included, we can spend a lot of our time buying things that don't actually make us a return. Don't waste your money on things that don't make you a return. Instead, take the money that you have and as much as possible put it into things that are going to generate a return and are going to generate you more money. Education is a great example of this. You put money in, you learn something, and you get a bigger return from it. I want to talk to you about something called projection. You see, for you and for me as well, whenever we were growing up, our parents in some cases were projecting onto you the things they believed were possible for themselves. So if you come to them and said, hey, I want to start a business, then maybe they will come back and say that's not possible. And it's not that it's not possible for you, it's just they didn't believe it was possible for themselves. But other people in your network right now, they're projecting as well. When you tell them about the business idea that you're looking to do, they say it's not possible as well. It's the exact same thing. Really, what all of life comes down to are choices. Certain choices that your parents made, choices that you're making right now, and you've got actually an opportunity to make a new choice today. And that choice is this: make wealth building a priority. So here's my advice for today and an action step as well. I want you to find people who you look up to, who have what it is you want to have. Be it a certain career, be it a certain type of business, whatever it is that's important to you. And I want you to reach out to that person and find a way to work with them. And what you can actually do to start out when you're first reaching out is reach out and appreciate that person for the impact they've had on your life. They'll come back to you and say thanks a million, and off the back of that then you can build an actual relationship with that person, whereby maybe they will become your mentor and help guide you to success as well. Thanks so much for watching the video. Please do subscribe if you haven't already, and also check out this next video and watch it right now.